What's going on, YouTubers? For ladies and gentlemen, it's the Natural Born Thriller, and welcome everyone to Impact Wrestling Review, the show from April 22nd, 2021. And this will be the Go Home Show edition, pertains to Impact Rebellion 2021, and it's going to be this coming Sunday on April 25th on pay-per-view from my time zone, 8 o'clock p.m., which is unfortunate for me because I won't be able to watch it, while I'm at work. So, even if I get, if I, leave work early, you know, which, it's doable, I still won't be able to watch it on time. So, I will watch it, on a later week of it. But, what pertains to, everything that has transpired for Impact Wrestling on the Golem Show edition for what pertains to, again, going to the pay-per-view of Rebellion 2021. Not a lot of wrestling happened. Most likely all the promos, video package in a way, hyping up the main event traction that's gonna be for the Impact TNA World Championship title versus the AEW World title, where the winner take all situation that's gonna happen. But the show itself was in Nashville, Tennessee at the Skyway Studio. Matt Striker and D'Lo Brown were your commentators. Before I get to the show itself, I just want to say a couple of things pertains to what's going to happen on the show, especially pertains to the main event match itself for Rebellion. Pertains to the build for Rebellion, Impact Wrestling has been doing a splendid job building up their pay-per-view. The one thing they was building up on the most of on the show was, for the pay-per-view, for this one match itself, is the Rich Swann versus Kenny Omega match. That's gonna be the main event attraction for Rebellion. It's gonna be the one that's gonna be most looked at and the eye point of view of it for Impact Wrestling's part. So Impact Wrestling did a very good job with that one, building up that whole thing pertains to an interpromotional match. Basically, that's what it is. Well, a promotional match, or whichever you want to say. And they did the best they can. And in return, I expected AEW to do the same thing, but they didn't. They didn't do it. When it pertains to how this whole thing started up in the first place, when Scott D'Amore first made that announcement back when Moose was the TNA World Champion, and Rich Swann was just holding on to one of the world title belts until they got the sacrifice, and then from there, Rich Swann made history, becoming the Impact Wrestling and the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, holding both belts. And then what pertains to on that time, it could have been the time where AW could have been building that up too. Other than what, maybe they, not my knowledge though, what pertains to them talking about the Impact World Champion on their shows like Dynamite, Dark, Elevation, whichever you want to say in a way. It's this whole thing where the pay advertisement that Tony Khan and Tony Schiavone always kept doing, until Impact Wrestling moved to Thursdays, and they also stopped doing the whole pay advertisement now because there's no need for that anymore. But everything that they've been doing as well pertains to Impact Wrestling, trying to to invade AEW Dynamite, which has not happened. Otherwise, doing the Good Brothers. So what? They're friends with Kenny Omega and Young Bucks that are in AEW. So what? I wasn't expecting, those guys to show up either way, but they show someone else to show up there, like someone from the Knockouts, someone from the X Division, someone of the tag team division of Impact Wrestling. None of them. Hell, I wouldn't even take Eddie Edwards, despite how I feel about him right now, for a while, I should say. Despite how I feel about him, at least have him come in, or something, or even with Moose being absent, you could at least have him invaded. But nope, they decided to not to go into that whole thing where Tony Khan kept saying he's inviting the Impact stars to come to AEW Dynamite, and it never happened. Other than the Good Brothers, which I really don't count them that much, nobody else in Impact Wrestling came in, and for that point, I was like, you know what, I'm over it now. Who cares anymore of this whole thing? Could they drop the ball with that? Now, they have AEW stars show up to Impact Wrestling, like a Matt Hardy, Private Party, pertains to the pay advertisements like Rebel, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, Brian Cage, Ryan, excuse me, and I think Ricky Starks was part of that too, by the way. And what pertains to Tony Khan was in the building with Jerry Lynn. Other than that, they haven't really done much of Impact Wrestling stars going to AEW. Only AEW stars came into Impact Wrestling. That's unacceptable. I'm not gonna count Kenny Omega because Kenny Omega he's been advertised to face a guy like a Rich Swann, so I don't really count him that much. But and then they got Don Callis, which I don't include him either. He is in the he's the vice president of Impact Wrestling, or the executive vice president, something like that. I can't remember what his role is. Or produce. I think he's an executive producer. I can't remember. But the point is, Impact Wrestling has not really benefited that much for AW's part. Which is to in favor. It should have been that way. And AW failed to promote Rebellion on their shows, because Kenny Omega is going to be on Impact Wrestling shows of Rebellion, especially where Kenny Omega is showing up to Impact Wrestling weekly. So they dropped the ball with that, unfortunately. But I'll give Impact Wrestling this though. At least they're all part of it, and the thing is, I don't know if anyone is even going to tune in on Sunday because of that money match. That's the money match there. Kenny Omega versus Rich Swann. And also, not to move away from that, where it takes to Kenny Omega versus Rich Swann, someone's going to be coming to Impact Wrestling, not to work for them, but just to commentate for them for that one night. Mauro Ranallo, a former commentator for WWE, NXT, going to be a commentary for Impact Wrestling for that main event of the Impact/TNA World Heavyweight Championship title match of Rich Swann versus the AEW World Champion Kenny Omega. And all I can say is a plus there. That's good. If anyone loves Mauro Ranallo's commentary back in the days when he was in WWE and also NXT, even though it's the same company, but for us, even with this to the MMA world, if you enjoy listening to Mauro Ranallo's commentary, that should be enough for you to tune in on Sunday to pay, to watch this pay-per-view, to watch this main event match itself of Rich Swann versus Kenny Omega. And they couldn't ask anyone better. Hey, it's better than Josh Matthews. I'll say that. I don't mind Matt Striker and D'Lo Brown, but I think this dude will do commentary for them. I think it's gonna be like a Dream Man commentary for that match. We'll see. We'll see if that's what they had the idea of bringing in Mauro Ranallo in the first place. It's gonna be a Dream Man commentary, so we'll see if that is the case. But I digress. But either way, I'm loving that Mauro Ranallo was getting involved of Impact Wrestling for this one. So, and yeah, other than that, I got nothing else to say. Pertains to everything that I just talked about. So that being said, let's get right into the show here, folks. The opening match was Decay versus the Good Brothers. Decay was being accompanied by Rosemary. You have Chrissy Steve and Black Taurus going up against Doc Gallows and Machine Gun Carl Anderson. In the match, I thought it was alright. Wasn't really into the match that much, but I thought it was alright. I just want to bring up one note before I move on. There was a match that had on before the Impact between Petey Williams versus Falaba versus Matt Fulton, with Petey Williams going over in match on Falaba, while you have Josh Alexander at ringside for Petey Williams, TJP being at ringside for Falaba, and it's also being at ringside for Matt Fulton because of the whole build-up of the X-Division Championship title match. And before I move on to folks, where it takes to the preview, I did the preview with with Wrestling Otaku from the Fortune and from Mr. Rican Dre 21 of the Asylum. Being alongside with me when we did the live reactions for Impact Wrestling for the home show edition of the show itself. I'm pretty sure for those that watched, know what I mean, and you saw what we did there. We're tends to doing the live reaction of it, watching the show, and then after that we did the preview. there will be another there will be a preview of that one, the same preview that I did, along with like I said, with Otaku and Miss Rican J. That's gonna be uploaded. I mean, it's gonna premiere on the Sunday. I can't remember what time I put it at, but it will be premiere around that Sunday. Either it's either on that Sunday, or it's gonna be like like an hour before Sunday. I hit so be on the lookout for that one. That's gonna be premiere on my YouTube channel, right? Natural Born Thriller. So in case anyone want to check that out, check it out. That's just in case everyone didn't then stay along after we was done with the live reactions of it. So. But there you go. That's all I want to say from there. Now, as far as the match was between DK and the Good Brothers, yeah, I thought it was alright, decent at best. Not I wasn't into it. It's just a match for the Good Brothers to to fill in time until they get to go up against Finjuice at Rebellion, and that's exactly what it was. And in the end, they end up winning the match. As you should, because again, they need the momentum going into the pay-per-view. So they won the match, and after the match, we got a promo match. A post match, meant to say, of a promo from the Good Brothers, where they taking a moment to thank Finjuice for for waking them up and and waking the beast in a way. That's basically what they're saying. Because they've been lacking all that, they've been on confidence, and they have not been the same Good Brothers like they've always been. And I'm like, I agree. But basically they just saw the real Machine Gun Carl Anderson and the big LG got Doc Gallows, or what they are, what they can be, and they're gonna show that at Rebellion against Finjuice. And that was it. And I'm like, okay, good. Just wait until next week, and they'll be back to being on goofballs. Yeah. All right. So it retains to the main event of Rich Swann versus Kenny Omega for where the winner take all. Yeah, guys like Matt Cardona, Trey Miguel, Shira, GM Miller, James Storm, thinking that Rich Swann's gonna beat the AEW World Champion representing Impact Wrestling. Nope, that won't be the case, folks. Unfortunately, it's unfortunate, but it's not gonna happen. Kenny Omega is gonna win. Vampire Design, they I should say Eric Young promo, where it pertains to against the factions. Well, I almost say the factions of teams that Eddie Edwards, James Storm, Chris Sabin, and William Mack has put together, where it pertains to Rebellion. So yeah. It was a promo that Eric Young just cut to to them, and then it pertains to his opponent Eddie Edwards for the main event, which we'll get to when we get to it. So it was a good promo though. Eric Young is always cut good promos. Susan with Deonna Purrazzo, the Knockouts champion, the Virtuosa, versus Tennille Dashwood and Caleb with a K. So Susan and Tennille Dashwood, I was not a fan of this match, and I still wasn't a fan of this match when it happened. Even though Tennille Dashwood did show a little bit what she can do, pertains to her being the number contender for the Impact Knockouts Championship title, which I still not favor of her being Knockouts number contender for the Knockouts title. But what pertains to the match that Susan and not Diamante, I was gonna say Diamante, that Tennille Dashwood had, we have Killed with a K with his phone. Snap, for Tennille Dashwood for Instagram, and as you see Susan, seeing Killed with a K doing that, doing all this and everything, and she's like, are you recording me? Because Susan's character is supposed to be a Cameron. And she's like, you record me? Look, I'm recording you too. I'm gonna record you. How you like that? That was the match. Tennille Dashwood wins, by the way. She won the match, as she should have. Because if she would have lost to Susan, that would have been terrible. Especially with her being the contender. The post-match, though, afterwards, was Tennille Dashwood cutting a promo to the Knockouts champion, Deonna Purrazzo. If she wants, if she saw what she just did there, and then she invites Deonna Purrazzo in the ring. Deonna Purrazzo makes her way into the ring, and then she informs her that the age of the Virtuosa or the Knockouts division, for that matter, would exist and promise. I mean, if it wasn't for her, the whole Virtuosa, the age of Virtuosa and the Knockouts division would not, for that matter, would not exist. I mean, and base, I like real, or whatever. And then she promised that she will beat, Gianna Prazo to become Knockouts champion. And then Gianna Prazo, also she leaves, so she didn't say anything, and that's the build up for the main event, for the well, I'm assuming it's gonna be the co-main event of Rebellion. So yeah, whatever. Brian Myers goes a promo. He talks about his opponent against Matt Cardona at Rebellion, and then during his time talking, he removed his blindfold, his eye patch. I meant to say, and like, okay, good, finally, that because the injury, the whole injury of his eye wasn't real anyway, so it's about time he took it off because and now it's time to get serious against his former best friend Matt Cardona, and there you go. I don't know what to say about that. So, but it was a good promo from him too, from Brian Myers. So, we get to Havoc talking about which one will retain. Rachael talks about that he will retain, and then we had the Good Brothers, who's also in that same video package where there's the Good Brothers are saying that obviously Kenny Omega's going to win, which the Good Brothers are right that Kenny Omega is going to win. So, and then with him winning, he's going to become the new face of Impact Wrestling, and that's Kenny Omega. We get a video package of Trey Miguel, which pretends to come back to Impact Wrestling, which Sami Callihan tried to. Well, I was like, I think. No, I'm sorry. This is a promo from Sami Callihan. Excuse me. Sami Callihan is doing this promo where he says that ever since Trey Miguel ever since Trey Miguel came back to Impact Wrestling, that he tried to take him under his wing so they could take over everything, but now he's going to have to break him in this last man standing match at Rebellion, and that was it. Basically threatening that Trey Miguel will never walk again. Shira being accompanied by Roy Raju versus Jake something. And the match, I thought it was alright for what it was. In the end, it was Shira winning the match. I can't remember if yeah, that's right. Roy Raju did get involved, which it did let you the distraction for Shira win the match. So, but either way, it was still a decent match. I enjoyed the match for what it was. Everyone at Trey Miguel's wrestling school is rooting for him to beat Sami Callihan, and Trey Miguel spent his time he spent sometimes at school getting ready for his big fight against Sami Callihan, and he had his coach there basically coaching him up and all that. And basically it was very intense video package and all that for chance to Trey Miguel getting ready for his match against Sami Callihan, and I thought it was well done. So we're gonna see how that turns out at Rebellion. We get another video package. This time we're going to hyping up the X Division Championship title match between the X Division champion Ace Austin versus TJP, excuse me, and versus Josh Alexander. And yeah, I for what it was, I thought it was alright too. Now we get to the Impact / TNA World Heavyweight Champion Rich Swann coming out. And basically, he talks about what happened at the press conference between him and Kenny Omega from last week, and says, he doesn't want to wait until Rebellion. He wants to do it right now. So he basically calls out Kenny Omega. So Kenny Omega and Don Callis shows up on the screen, and basically, say what they gotta say. Pertains to, Don Callis being, sadly informing Rich Swann that it's not gonna happen. And then Kenny Omega starts cutting a promo saying that how bad is it going to be if he adds another belt to his collection, which he is, and finds finds Sunday to be a night that will work in his favor, just before including all the messages and all that. Omega tells Rich Swann to enjoy his last 3 days as champion, and then he goes, I bet you I do, by goodbye and good night, bang. So that was we thought it was gonna be it from there. We're to that whole thing. the whole thing Rich Swann coming out there, basically a waste of time of him coming out there, and then all of a sudden, lights go out, and the music plays. The spotlights, was going to the type of, to the stage, and it was finally the return of Moose. Like, where the hell has he been all this time? So he's finally back. So Moose confronts Rich Swann, basically tells him that he's not here to hurt him. He is there to congratulate Rich Swann. And I see myself a little late for that, because that was weeks ago. You could congratulate him, but the Moose says that if Rich Swann goes through him as sacrifice, there's nothing that's going to stop him to go through Kenny Omega. And he basically wishes Rich Swann good luck and give him an advice. If he loses those belts, Moose is coming right after Rich Swann. Basically, he's gonna make him suffer the ultimate consequences if he loses those belts, which he is gonna lose it, unfortunately, folks. And Rich Swann says that when he retained and become the new AEW World Champion, which is not. He says that he will look forward to pinning Moose again. So they're building that matchup again between Moose and Rich Swann. Now the thing about that is Rich Swann ain't gonna win the belts. He ain't gonna keep his belts. He ain't gonna win. He ain't gonna gain any belt from Kenny Omega, which is unfortunate. So, because let's face it, we all know who's gonna come out the winning hand and all this. Deon Purrazzo, Josh Alexander, and William Mack are rooting for Rich Swann to bring home the gold for Impact Wrestling, which he's not. And it makes me wonder, after all this video package they're doing on Impact Wrestling, where it tends to the Impact stars rooting for Rich Swann, what if Rich Swann, obviously he's going to lose, obviously, but what if he fails, and what if they look at him differently? What if they feel like when he didn't get the job, when he doesn't get the job done, they look at him as a failure, and they basically say, you don't belong here anymore. You don't belong. You don't represent. You shouldn't represent for this company anymore. You shouldn't be here in this company anymore. What if there's some type of betrayal there from the locker room of Impact Wrestling to Rich Swann because he couldn't get the job done? I don't know. Because all this praising Rich Swann and picking Rich Swann, betting odds for Rich Swann to win. It's gonna it's not gonna favor anyone at all. Especially with betting money for Rich Swann to win, and they're gonna lose a lot of money because of that too. And by the way, what it seems to this whole thing too, why we didn't get Swingers Palace to do a segment for this whole thing where what are the odds what are the betting odds for Rich Swann winning or Kenny Omega winning? They could have done something like that, but instead they didn't do any of that. They didn't do no Swingers Palace on the show itself. Like, why would you not do that? That was a great opportunity to do that. Besides, that is one of the best segments you could ever do on Impact Wrestling right now is Swingers Palace. And you don't do it for this main event itself, where it could have been entertaining. You could have done that. Huge mistake. But it's whatever. The biggest mistake though was AEW not promoting this event itself. We get a hype video vignette for the returning of Taylor Wilde, and and obviously they show her footages from the past of during her time in TNA wrestling, and now she's coming back, and when she comes back, she wants us to do one thing, and that is let's get wild. So there you go. Now, I don't know if she's going to be appearing on Rebellion, or she's going to appear next week on Impact Wrestling. We'll see. But I think next week she will. Kiera Hogan being accompanied by Tasha Steelz, going up against Jordynne Grace. So Jordynne Grace and Kiera Hogan was having a decent match until we get disqualification, interference by Tasha Steelz. And then it's trying to be fire and flavor on the Knockout Tag Team Champions, being up on Jordynne Grace. All of a sudden, we hear a music playing. And I couldn't make out who that was because I never heard of the music before. And it was Rachael Ellering the daughter of Paul Ellering, and I'm like, wow. And last I seen of her, yeah, basically last I seen of her, obviously, was during the AW Women's Tag Team tournament they did. And to see her there, to be Jordan Gray's partner, and that's basically what it is. So Jazz, you know, calling a favor for, you Rachael Ellering to be the tag team partner for Jordan Grace against Fire and Flava for the Knockout Tag Team titles. And yeah, there you go. That yeah, and basically they beat up Fire and Flava, by the way. And that was it. And they're gonna say more of that beating from them at Rebellion. So. And when I think about the tag team, by the way, of Jordan Grace and Rachael Ellering, with those two being a tag team, I think it's great. There you go. So we go to Japan, where we see the Impact World Tag Team Champions, Finjuice, Juice Robinson, and David Finlay. They, talk about the Good Brothers where they were sick and tired of hearing the Good Brothers' excuses, and they will, see them as Sunday, and basically Finjuice are, telling them to keep on dreaming because they are ready to shut them up and retain their Impact World Tag Team Champions because they are the best tag team in the world. So there you go. They did one more video package where it tends to Rich Swann versus Kenny Omega, and you had the former Impact World Champion Eddie Edwards talking about that Rich Swann's gonna win, and Sami Callihan says that he refused to let Kenny Omega to succeed over Rich Swann. That. I think also Sami Callihan said something about if Rich Swann doesn't get the job done. Basically like the whole thing with Moose, like you'll be a letdown and a disappointment to Impact Wrestling. But in Moose's case, he's gonna hurt him. But in Sami Callihan's case, he's gonna be like I don't want to be in the same room with you. That's at least that's what it was with that promo. So, all right, main event time. Eric Young being accompanied by design of Rhino, Diener, and Joe Doring versus Eddie Edwards. Being covered by James Storm, excuse me, Chris Sabin, and Willie Mack. Hold on a second, folks. I'm sorry. That's better. Match happens. Match itself, I thought was good. Just minus Eddie Edwards' character and his look, I thought it was good. There was some outside involvement. What they said tried to finally at the end, like someone from the end of the match, it finally cracked, and they started brawling outside the ring. There was a distraction for Edwards, which allowed Eric Young to go for a roll up, basically the inside cradle, and gets the win. Because we can't have Eddie Edwards lose, while being distracted. We can't, and on top of that, you can't have him lose cleanly in the match against Eric Young. Oh no, you can't have that, what was that, Eddie Edwards losing clean. What's that? Never heard of that. Especially with someone looking like that, it's got to be protected in a loss like that. But then also they start fighting. Basically, give us a brawl to end the show. Pertains to this match as well. That's gonna be at Rebellion. So, and that's basically it. That was it for that. The whole thing, and that will do it for this edition, for the Go Home Show edition, for Pertains to Impact Rebellion, 2021, and yeah, that's all I can say from there. The show from April 22nd, 2021. And all we can look forward to now is for this coming Sunday. As far as the show was too, folks, I understand they couldn't build up the show that much for a chance to Rebellion. Where it's some stuff that they want us to care about. But it didn't really help that at all. And on top of that, we're me watching on Twitch TV, where they keep showing those clips of those old school or moments every time, and it gets so tiring. Girl on Cinema is right about that, by the way, because she talked about that before. Routines Impact Wrestling. Routines watching on Twitch TV because she don't have access TV. Just like I don't have access TV. If I had access TV, that would not be a problem. But when it pertains to Twitch TV, when they're doing this stuff, it's gonna burn out a lot of fans watching the show during the show, and I felt that so many times. And they need to stop doing that shit. Where's Melissa Santos? Where's she at? To do this whole thing. Where's some other personnel to do this? Yo, it's ridiculous. Hell, have Alicia Edwards do it. She could sit there and talk and look pretty. And I just don't know. Yeah, I hell. I just don't know, folks, man. I really don't know what's going on with on Melissa Santos. I don't know if she's been let go. I don't know if she decided to leave. I don't know what's going on with that. But when it comes to Twitch TV, when they go to commercials for Impact Wrestling Weekly, they need someone to to cover this show, instead of just showing those tiring, repeated moments of matches, promos, segments, and what have you, on their Impact Plus. Just to plug the Impact Plus shit. I'm sick and tired of it. Five matches were Tomo Wrestling, folks. I just was double checking to see if that's how many matches there were, because there was not really much wrestling going on, other than hyping up the review, especially the main event attraction between Rich Swann versus Kenny Omega. So overall strength for the show, 5 out of 10. That's all I'm gonna go from there. And that being said, thank you all for watching. No plugs, no signers, no of any things I always say pertains to something, because just want to end this right now for It's Natural Born Thriller, saying peace on the streets. You'll take care.